Hey everybody, I'm Mike Peters.
And I'm Rebecca Farina.
And you're watching LIE.
Whoop! Coming up, we'll talk about some programming we shot last month.
You'll get a sneak peek at new programs airing on Patv this month.
Plus a brand new Did You Know?
All that and more on LIE.
Welcome back to LIE. We want to start off this episode with a message of strength and unity.
In response to the tragedies that occurred on October 27th, Rabbi Michael Klayman of the Lake Success Jewish Center has some words for all of the members of our community.
The tragedy which took place last Sabbath in Pittsburgh has touched many of us in all faith communities. Our churches, our mosques, our synagogues, and all of our respective houses of worship are intended to be sacred spaces where we seek and find comfort, reassurance, and friendship. This past weekend, many of us attended some type of faith service in our respective communities. We joined together in peace, as did worshipers at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh. We could not imagine that a madman would violate our worship by indiscriminately murdering innocent people. Today, we express concern and fear for our safety in the sanctuaries which we so deeply cherish. May we pray to do our part in helping to heal our country and to embrace the values of respect, dignity, and tolerance. Let us hope that never again will there be a need for such a prayer.
So November is election month, and the League of Women Voters is an organization that brings candidates' messages to you.
That's right. And Patv was the only media organization there filming the debate. And for the first time ever, we were even able to live stream. So even if you couldn't make it out to the debate yourself, you could watch it from the comfort of your own home. We have some clips from the debates. Let's take a look.
And I'm the president of the League of Women Voters of Port Washington, Manhasset. I'd also like to thank our members and our board members for their dedication to our democracy. I consider them all patriots. I'd also like to thank the women's group of the Unitarian Universalist Church for co-sponsoring this event. The purpose of the League of Women Voters is to both promote political responsibility through informed and active participation in government and to act on selected issues. We do not support or oppose any political party or candidate. That said, the League as an organization is truly nonpartisan. Its officers and directors are bound by a strict nonpartisan policy. League members, however, may participate in partisan politics. In carrying out our purpose, the League provides a voter's guide. It maintains a website, votingnewyork.org, prints a directory of public officials called They Represent You, offers candidate forums and moderators for all contested elections, such as this one, assists with voter registration and voting information, and we maintain a speakers bureau for election-related issues. In advance of the midterm elections, we have been busy with our Get Out the Vote campaigns and voter registration. And remember, the League is not for women only. I'd like to introduce Judy Jacobson.
Hi. Thank you, Julie. You have been instrumental in organizing this event. This evening, as Julie said, is co-sponsored by the women's group of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation at Shelter Rock and the League of Women Voters of Port Washington, Manhasset. Many thanks to the Patv crew and the NYAC crew who will be recording tonight's forum. Patv will be streaming it live on Facebook for the first time. The forum will be aired on public access stations. Check the Patv website, patv.org, for viewing times. We are delighted to be able to provide a larger audience with the information they need to make an informed decision on Election Day.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being an engaged and responsive audience.
Thank you for watching PATV. What we do here has been made possible in part by community residents and organizations using our facility and equipment to create original programming. Come visit, take a tour, and get involved.
Project SAFE is a new program that we're running on PATV, and it stands for Seniors Against Financial Exploitation.
And we have 2 new episodes this month. The first one is about health insurance for seniors, and the second is about understanding Planned Parenthood. Let's have a look.
Welcome to another episode of Project SAFE, Seniors Against Financial Exploitation. In the United States, it is estimated that $25 to $30 billion a year is taken from seniors. That's an amazing number. Seniors are categorized, and retirees. Seniors are over the age of 60, and of course some people retire earlier. In North Hempstead, there is approximately 50,000 seniors and about 20,000 early retirees. And it is estimated that 10% of them will be scammed each year. It's a tremendous number that needs to be addressed. The purpose of this program is to bring to your attention ways to avoid it. And scams can occur every place you go. Today, we're very fortunate to have with us Joanne Smith, who is the president and CEO of Planned Parenthood of Nassau County. Why would we bring Planned Parenthood into a program like this? Because the purpose of this program is to bring to everybody's attention services that are provided for free or within your insurance costs. And many people get taken advantage of by going to places that are illegal, scams, etc., don't get the proper help, don't get the proper advice. Joanne, it's a pleasure to have you here, and I want to thank you so much for taking the time to participate in Project SAFE.
Thank you, John. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you, Peter.
I always ask the first question, how did you get involved in Planned Parenthood?
I was lucky. I was working as a consultant, and I heard about this job, and somebody had recommended that I be interviewed for it. And I wasn't available at the time, but when I was finished with the consulting gig, I called the current CEO, the then CEO, and I said, well, if the position is still open, I would love to talk with you about it. And I got the job, and I was at that time, I was the vice president of fundraising and public affairs and education and marketing. And I was in that position until the then CEO left to become the interim CEO of our national organization, which is Planned Parenthood Federation of America. So I was in the right place at the right time, and fortunately, the board then asked me to be the permanent CEO, and I am so lucky to be in this position because every day I see the value that Planned Parenthood brings to the people in our community.
Today, we're very lucky to have Julie Ward-Ado with us, who is a healthcare finder specialist, and she's going to help us navigate the Medicare, Medicaid problems that face the country today. Hello, Julie.
Hi, John. How are you today?
Very, very good, and thank you so much for this. I know it's between October 15th and December 7th. People have to do something with their Medicare, but I'm really not sure what they have to do, and that's why we have you on the program today to guide our seniors in what they should be doing, the pitfalls to avoid, and what to expect.
Okay.
I know Peter was asking just before I did this again. I did this a couple of different programs. I'm John Ryan, and my partner Peter Janowski are the co-hosts of this program. And oftentimes I forget to say that because it's really insignificant. You're the most important part of this show. As we were beginning the show, Peter wanted to know the difference between Medicare and Medicaid. That's going to be the first question we ask after you explain how you got involved in this field.
Okay. Well, I started out in the Medicare field in 2010, and I had been doing insurance prior to that. I came across a niche that I enjoyed, that I was very comfortable with, that I felt I could help people. And the more I became involved in the Medicare field, it became the total portion of my business. I gave up the other parts of the insurance industry that I had been involved with because this was a growing business, and I saw a great need because many people were confused. There's a lot of confusion with Medicare. When do I take it? How do I get onto it? You know, what does it do for me? And at that point in time, I decided that I would be an advocate for the seniors to help them find plans, transition, go forward, and get the best coverage for them.
That's very important because actually Peter and I are financial advisors, and that type of question gets posed to us all the time, and we don't have the expertise to answer it, and we wouldn't answer it.
Exactly.
But now I know Peter had questions.
It can get very, very complex. I know you're going to get into all the parts, the alphabet parts of the Medicare, but very basically, if someone's tuning in and watching this and they're saying, well, Medicare, isn't that like Medicaid? What would you say?
Absolutely not. They are two totally different pieces of the puzzle.
Last month, the Great Neck Plaza celebrated their 34th annual street festival. Super awesome.
Wow, that is awesome. And you know, Mylan Studart was there to show you all about it. Check out this clip.
Hey there, Mike and Rebecca. This is Mylan Studart coming to you from the corner of Bond Street and Grace Avenue at Great Neck Plaza for their annual Great Neck Plaza Street Festival. Now, it's kind of cold here today. It's in the lower 50s in a weekend in October, but the cold did not stop hundreds of coming here to Great Neck Plaza. Check out what some of them had to say.
I really wanted to come here because it's only like once a year, and I thought it would be really fun for me. I don't care that it's cold because it's mostly cold every single year.
You guys just slid down the slide with your 2 children. That must have been a lot of fun.
You know, it was really faster than I thought. I was pretty scared. And I'm not fond of heights.
Were you scared?
No, Juliana, what about you?
Were you?
No, because we're with Daddy, right?
Now this year was also the 28th year the Street Festival joined with the annual Auto Fest. Dozens of classic cars lined the town streets and brought many curious eyes.
Yeah, we really like the old Lamborghini and the Ford.
And it's really cold out here today in October, but you guys are really excited to be here. What is the coolest thing that you saw here today so far?
The new Jeep Lamborghini. Yeah, the new Jeep.
How long have you had this car for? What's the story behind it?
I always wanted to have a Miura. That was my dream. And growing as a teenager, I had the poster of the Miura in my room. And it is the first supercar. It's the first car to have an engine in the back. And it was ahead of its time when it came out.
And what about the color? It's lime green. Is that what you wanted?
Yes, that is a true Lamborghini color. It was introduced by Lamborghini, and a commemorative edition of the new one. 50 years later, they called it the Aventador Miura Edition. So they made 50 copies of this car.
There were games, bouncy castles, live music, and many live performances by local schools and groups like the Confidence Dance Group.
I loved our dances because we weren't just dancing for like a lot of people. We were dancing for ourselves, and I just loved the experience because the experience of you performing in front of everybody is just so like live and exciting.
We are always trying to instill confidence in the kids, hence the name Confidence. And the most important thing for me is for them to come out of class feeling good and strong about themselves.
Little Mia here even got to ride a pony while her entire family watched.
This is my oldest daughter, Chloe. That's my son. This is my brother-in-law,
Hi.
Barry. And
Nice to
that's
see you
my
today.
niece. That's my niece
This
over
is
there, Sarah.
We're all having a great time at the Great Neck.
How did that feel riding the horse?
Good.
Did you like the horse?
Yeah.
Do you like him because he's white, or do you like any color?
I like the color.
And of course, the festival wouldn't have been made possible without the support of dozens of local officials.
It's just a great event to have fun, to say hello to neighbors, to say thank you to the community for supporting our downtown. And that's what it's been for 34 years.
Well, the cold definitely didn't stop anybody from coming out here for the Great Neck Plaza Street Festival. Now, we've been here since 11:30, and it's already almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we've seen probably about 300 people come and go, either more or less, but definitely there's 2 more hours to go for the street festival, and you saw the verdict. Their favorite car apparently is the green Lamborghini. That was pretty sweet. And the favorite ride, the fun slide. And it does seem like a lot of fun, too. All right, that's it for me. And I'm Mylan Studart for Patv Long Island. Have a great day.
PATV has a lot of really awesome producers that come through our doors. One of those producers is Phyllis Sterneman, and when she's not bringing us cakes and cookies for the office, she's also bringing in really awesome topics for programming on our channel.
But this month she brings us a topic that not many people are familiar with, and that's the disorder called aphasia. Let's have a look at this clip.
So I was working at North paramedic at 8 years, and then later I was at critical care, and then later flight paramedic, and it was very fun and exciting at North Shore LIJ. Also, I was going to go to the Bar Ilan University to study, but also I was working in Magen David Adom. My mother is Israeli, so I understand Hebrew and English, but after the stroke, I understand Hebrew, but I don't speak, read, or write. So yeah, and I was going to go to medical school, but first my father, he has a AV valve, as a prolapse, and I have a prolapse as well. So I say, you know what, I want to go to surgery and then go to medical school. Unfortunately, in the surgery, I have a stroke resulting in aphasia. And it's funny, 1 year, all I can say was Michael. I don't know who Michael is, but Michael is there. So everybody, and me too, laugh hysterically because who is Michael? I have no idea. And then hemiparesis. So 3 months, I was in the hospital in the bed because my arm, my leg is weak. But then OT and PT and speech pathology took care of me together, and it's very, very good. So yes. So 2 months at Columbia Presbyterian, and then 2 months at North Shore LIJ. And 2 weeks after the stroke, I started to speak with a speech pathology, OT and PT. But it's very frustrating for me because, for example, I have difficulty with names, numbers, reading, writing. There's a lot of stuff. But I went to the apartment, and I was wondering what is paramedic textbook. I wanted to see what is aphasia. So I went to the glossary, and I see is 4 words: difficulty naming object correctly. So it's like frustrating. But first of all, also I went to the website, and I look a lot of stuff. For example, International Aphasia Movement or Adler Aphasia Center. Mona Greenfield is a speech pathology, so I go twice a week to Mona Greenfield, and also Adler Aphasia Center, I go twice a week as well. ARC has Aphasia Recovery Connection, so I go to email or phone number, email or talk with a video about my story. Harvey Alter, he has a stroke, but he is music. He has music. The language, Harvey has a language is gone, but the music is there. So he said, you know what, I want to sing. So now he and a lot of people who has aphasia or TBI go and sing along. So it's very, very good. University of Michigan, I went to University of Michigan after the stroke. It's 6 months intensive program, and it's very, very good. Bill Connolly is a speech pathology, so I go twice a week, 1 week to speak with Bill, so it's really cool. Also, I speak as well with aphasia training awareness. So for example, police academy or ambulance, or in doctors and nurses, for example, North Shore LIJ, or in Israel, Magen David Adom. And also I visit for the hospital about a lot of people who has aphasia as well. So it's very, very good. So 4 years ago, I was a paramedic, but I lost a paramedic. But I really, really enjoy paramedic. So I was studying and tests, and I passed. So it was really very, very cool. And I am working, volunteering, but working today. So it was very, very cool. And that's the story.
As you know, November 11th is Veterans Day, but here at PATV we like to consider it Veterans Month.
That's true. All month long, we will be running veterans-based programming. On Veterans Day itself, you can catch a large block of programming from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., all about our veteran stories. And if you can't check out that marathon, you can always check our schedule for dates and times where our veteran stories air. And let's take a look at a clip.
Vietnam veterans did not get the support when they came home. But one of the good things that came out of it, I think you will find that the Vietnam veteran today is the most supportive of the Iraq and Afghanistan veterans, because we knew what it was to come back and not be appreciated. And we've supported generals and senators and congressmen who realize that it's not the soldier or Marine or that determines where we go, where we fight. It's our politicians. So if you got a gripe against the veterans, you should be griping against the person who you elected who sent them there. You know, I mean, I feel very fortunate to live in a country where our military does not determine our political outlet. We don't have to worry about some soldier coming up and sticking a bayonet in our guts, but the price for that is you better elect people who are a little bit more discriminatory about how we use our veterans and our armed forces, you know. My advice to any politician is when you get into a war, listen to your veterans, listen to the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Somebody like Colin Powell says, you break it, you own it. I would listen to that. He knows what he's talking about. Well, I'm on the board of the National Veterans Foundation, which is one of the few groups that doesn't try to compete with the other groups. Veterans will call us and we will recommend them to Wounded Warrior. Basically what we do is if a veteran needs a loan, a veteran's loan, they don't know how to do it, they call us, we direct them, we guide them through the process. If they need therapy, especially for post-traumatic stress disorder, we show them where the clinics are within their area. So we're a service to all the other groups. I think one of the problems a number of veterans groups has, they're all good intention, but they're within competition of each other, and we really shouldn't be. We can consolidate a lot of these programs and funnel the money more to where it's needed. You know, we've lost almost 3 times as many Vietnam vets from suicide than we did in the actual conflict. And we're starting to see that with the Iraq vets. We're starting to see that with the Afghani vets, where there's not enough support at home. There was a lot less problems in World War II, and it wasn't just because it was a different war. World War II, you know, when it ended, people just didn't come home. We had millions of troops around the world. It took months for them to come home. Well, during those months, the soldier, the Marine, was with comrades who had shared the same experience. It was a self-therapy. And I think we could work a little bit more on those lines, like literally letting somebody out with 3 months to go in the service and saying, no, you will spend those 3 months with these people who experience the same thing. We can make that part of the actual service to have a group therapy. That's one step, but there are other things we can do. We can make it easier for veterans to get to groups, support groups in some of the remote areas, you know. It's hard, you know, somebody comes back and they get sent back home to Iowa, and there might not be another, I mean, how many people are in Wyoming, period, you know? So the vets are scattered. We gotta have a focal point where they can meet and gather. I'm a Marine, you know, and We have a lot of pride in service, and I don't know. Even to this day, whenever I do a play, a lot of my Marine buddies come. We don't lose contact. You know, we have literally what I'm talking about. You know, my captain on Okinawa, Captain Fulford, became four-star General Fulford. He still comes to my plays. We might not agree politically on a number of things, but without a doubt, he's the finest man I've ever known. I think there's a number of things we can do to prevent war that we don't take. I think the greatest American who ever lived was General Smedley Darlington Butler. He received the Medal of Honor 3 times, the only one to do that. And he wrote a book, War is a Racket. And he said the first step to stopping war is make it illegal to make a profit. I think that should be the #1 thing. Why people can make money by putting young men and women in harm's way is beyond me. It makes no sense. Also, any politician who votes for war, his children should be the first to serve. I think there's some practical things, because war should be the last resort, and sometimes I feel it's the first course of action. A lot of tongue wagging, and let's get into a fight. There's other ways of doing it, you know. And then once you're in it, listen to the military. They know what they're doing. Especially today, I think young kids have to realize it's not a video game. These video games are making war look glamorous. I think every parent should take his child to a VA hospital and see. It's a hell of a price to pay. Now, sometimes it's worth it. I won't argue with that. But make sure you know what you're doing before you get into it. And let's not glorify with these. I saw one video game where they scored points by how many heads they shot off. You know, and here's some little kid playing. Well, you know what? It's not a game.
Rebecca, did you know that spooky stuff and ghost stories are actually kind of my favorite topic?
Yes, I did know that. But did you know that Carlene Lavelle has a new segment of Did You Know that's all about spooky, haunted locations on Long Island?
Oh, really? Wow, I'm super excited. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Carlene Lavelle, and this is Did You Know? A segment on LIU Magazine where I tell you something you probably didn't know about Long Island. October is the month to be frightened, and November marks the Day of the Dead. So on this episode, we tour Long Island locations to find those inhabited by ghosts and cursed by legends. Let's take a look. Does that lighthouse over there seem a bit familiar? It's the Montauk Lighthouse. You could say it's the beacon of Long Island. It's a landmark during the day, but possibly a supernatural inhabitant at night. Many travelers and sailors have lost their lives across the sea, even with the lighthouse guiding their way. On Christmas Day of 1811, Abigail survived the shipwreck, made it to shore, but the waves proved too harsh for her and she perished. Many say that she still walks along these very paths into that lighthouse right over there. For decades, there have been rumors of Abigail's haunting. I think the lighthouse may have attracted her soul. People say her name is whispered in dark corners in the house. Furniture moves around at night, and if you venture inside, you may get a tug on your coat. Another haunted location is one that you have visited on previous episodes of Did You Know? It's Raynham Hall. Raynham Hall is home to several ghosts. One of those ghosts that haunts the house is Revolutionary War spy Robert Townsend. He has been spotted by multiple sources, often near the main stairway. Once, he was seen staring out the window at the top of the stairs. One of Townsend's daughters, Sarah, is also known to haunt Raynham Hall.
She is believed to have died in an upstairs bedroom. Sally's spirit can be found roaming the upstairs halls of the house, and she is often found in the children's chamber. A third ghost, who is also said to haunt Raynham Hall, is Michael Conlon, an Irish immigrant who was a servant to the Townsends in the 1820s. He has been reportedly seen near the pantry. During guided tours of the home, doors have been known to swing open without apparent cause, and his name is mentioned. It is believed that this is Conlon making his presence known.
Do you think Lake Ronkonkoma is beautiful? And it is, but it's more ominous than it may seem. Legend has it that the princess from the Setauket tribe fell in love with an English settler named Hugh Birdsall. She saw him working along these very shores as a woodcutter. The tribe leader forbade their love, but they tried for 7 years to stay together. When they couldn't, she took her own life in this very lake. They say that to this day, she still yearns for love, and that men who swim here are pulled in and they drown. Almost all the women who touch the water and may fall into a bit of trouble still survive. If you're skeptical about the supernatural, there are theories of why the lake appears as it is. Lake Ronkonkoma's depths are very deceiving. The shoreline tends to be shallow, but the further you swim, there's a massive drop. The eerily dark water can also confuse even the best of swimmers. Many lakes have underground tunnel systems linked to various waterways. This is why the body of those who drowned are never found again. So what do you guys think? Do you think the Lady of the Lake really exists? Do you dare to take a swim in these waters? We've learned about legends, and we've learned about ghosts in homes. But the question that haunts me is, what's in your backyard? I'm your host, Carlene Lavelle. Thanks for watching.
If you have any comments, cool facts, or suggestions for our next Did You Know segment, send us a note at info@patv.org.
That's our show for November, guys. Yeah, I think it was a really good show. We learned a lot about the new program, Project Safe, and all about how to avoid financial exploitation.
That's right. We had a look back at the Great Neck Plaza Street Festival, which looked like so much fun.
A lot of fun. And we learned about the disorder aphasia. I had no idea it affected so many Americans.
Yeah,
it's really crazy. I can think of only one way to end this perfect show.
I think we need a vibe of the month with Grace Grella.
Sounds good. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, incoming! Wow! Thank you so much, Mike and Rebecca. I love your incoming messages, especially when we're getting those good vibes out there for the month of November 2018. Wow, can you believe it? The month of November already. Well, it's going to be a brilliant month. We have a lot to be thankful for. We have the veterans we're going to be thanking in November. And we're also going to be thanking everyone we know and love around the dinner table for Thanksgiving, hopefully, and recognizing how much we have to be grateful for and a lot to give thanks for. And, okay, so the only little fly in the ointment this month is that Mercury will go retrograde from November 16th through the end of the month. So you know what that means. Make sure you have all your computer information backed up, because sometimes Mercury retrograde can make technology go a little haywire. So we want to make sure that you retain all your files and have everything you need. So it's just a good time right now, the beginning of November, to go through and make sure that you back up all your computer files. It's also a good time to vote. November is a great time to vote. Why? Because we're blessed with the privilege of doing so. So make sure you get out there and vote on November 6th. It's going to be an awesome, awesome experience. I'm sure it will be for you. And everybody here at PATV, want you to know that you have the power of the vote, so utilize it. Okay, November, a really great month. The autumn leaves, everything's pumpkin, everything, even the coffee. But it's all part of the season. It is the season for love, gratitude, and thanks. And everybody here at PATV, we want you to know that we're grateful for your support and continued support so that we can be your community media center. That's what we're here for. And that's what creates a lot of good vibes only. So until the next time, stay in the positive zone.
Thank you.